Painting forces you to live brushstroke to brushstroke. You're not thinking about what happened in the past. You're not thinking about what you might have lost. You're only thinking about that one moment. It's very rare for a person to lose their eyesight from having the seizures from epilepsy. For me, it was severe epilepsy, and it was just causing all this sort of damage. So for my vision loss, my eyes are perfect. But it's a part of my brain that makes the images just doesn't work anymore. The first year that I lost my eyesight, I didn't do any art. It didn't even occur to me to try to draw. And I had drawn all my life. I was in the deepest, darkest hole. The sad truth is that a lot of people that lose their sight later on, there's a high suicide rate, actually. And it's very common, of course, to become depressed. I really felt like I had no worth anymore. Whenever you lose your eyesight, there is a disconnect with people. I wanted to let people know that I was still me, that I was still in here. And finally, I knew I had to get my hands dirty. I had to get back into art. Even if it was wrong, if it was crazy. I started one evening with this paint that dries really fast and it leaves a raised line. And I drew all that night. I thought, this pretty much makes it official, John. You're crazy. And I would just crumple up paper because I'd make a mistake. I'd crumple it up and I'd throw it down. And I was sitting on the floor and I drew all that night. And by the next morning, I was surrounded by paper. It was like I was sitting in a little white nest of paper. And I had this weird feeling. And for a second, I almost thought I was getting sick or something. And then it occurred to me, it was hope. The raised lines are a map for me. It's a way to guide myself across the canvas. The way I tell color, it depends on the type of paint. When I first started painting, it was all oil paints, and I love oil. And I worked 14, 16, 18 hours a day, every day, for about 3 months, mixing a little bit of one with, seeing how that felt, mixing a little bit, adding some thinner, seeing how that felt, just mixing them. If I'm working with the black, it'll be runny almost like oil. And if I'm working with a titanium white, it's like toothpaste. So whenever I'm mixing these two paints, they feel completely different. So if I want a gray halfway between, I just mix for a texture that's halfway between that really loose feeling and that really thick feeling. And it turns out that's a very precise way of mixing color. Use your eyes to know where you are on a canvas and to know where you've been. You can do that with your hands. As long as you make lines that you can feel and use paint that you can feel, then you've solved that problem. Jackie, she's my love. She's brilliant. She's courageous too, because I'm a blind painter and she married a blind painter. So, you gotta really give her credit for that, for having the vision. I have a 3.5-year-old son now. The seconds after he was born, I was able to feel his face and see what he looks like. That's such a gift. You wanna feel my face first? Okay. The feelings I had, feeling his face when he was born, I learned more from color from that than any color theory book I've ever read. I paint the same way really any artist does. The only difference is that everything that most artists would use their eyes for, I have to use my sense of touch for. So I replace my eyes with my hands. I can visualize what you look like by feeling your face. I'm breaking it down. There's the ear breaks down into 3 different areas that I feel. In my mind, I'm doing this. And then that goes to the next area and the next area. And then that bridges over to the nose and to the mouth, to the chin. So that what you're doing is you're building a model of it. And every part that you learn lends to another part of it. It really is amazing, though, how much more information you're able to pull from that just by touch. And I never would have known that if I hadn't lost my eyesight. It's an amazing tool for any artist, whether you're blind or sighted. Whoever I'm going to paint, of course, I have to meet them. I have to be hands-on with them. That opens up so much more. For me, color is emotion, and emotion is color, and sound is color, and flavor, and just everything that you can experience. The whole world becomes color. Art has opened up the world to me in a whole new way. I see things in a new way. I see less, I have to feel to see. But what I do see, I see with a lot more detail. And with a lot more emotion to it. For me not to paint during a day is like someone saying, well, I'm not going to see today. I saw all day yesterday, I'm tired of it, I'm not going to see. But painting is the way that I know the world now. It's the way I visualize the world. It's my connection to it. Like, I love my family, I love my son, I love my wife. But painting is just a part of me. I didn't paint before I lost my eyesight, but it was because I was too afraid. I had a fear. Like, I knew that I wouldn't be a very good painter. It wasn't till after I lost my eyesight that I wasn't afraid to fail anymore. The first step into my art career was going blind. I was an epileptic and I was blind, and now 10 years later, I'm still an epileptic, I'm still blind, and I'm happier than I've ever been in my life. Life has more color, I have more love in my life, and I think what I learned from losing my eyesight and finding art is just to try to stay in the moment. Be in the moment as much as you can.